Call the meeting to order. Ask for a roll call.
Blunier.
Here.
Leach.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Menold.
Here.
Newman. Parrott.
Here.
We have a quorum.
If you join me in Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There is no public hearing tonight. There's no presentations or special reports, other than I would like to make mention that we did have the PDGA Professional Disc Golf in Morton, and I went to the opening ceremonies, and we had 14 nations represented here. And I got to meet the two defending world champions, so that was quite something. And I guess our course is one of the top 5 in the world. So quite the event. Very young people. And I guess they throw the disc 650 feet, some of them. So interesting, though. They've been working on it since 2017, bringing it here. So it was 2 years in the making. It was here, Washington, and Eureka on 4 different courses. So other than that, public comments.
Good evening, everyone. Leanne Brown with the Morton Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Council. Just a couple of things. Today we had the regional press conference for the Big Table. Is a regional gathering that will take place on October 15th at the Peoria Civic Center. It is free to attend. The goal behind it is to gather as a region and talk through our assets and next steps for strategies, work through some challenges on workforce, on innovation, on diversity and inclusion, and quality of place. And it will wrap up with a business after hours like celebration. So hopefully you can attend or send somebody. We would definitely want many people from Morton, our community, to attend and be a part of those conversations to continue to build out our region and celebrate all the wonderful things that we have available to us. And then be on the lookout. Our festival guidebooks should be arriving our office later this week, so they will be distributed throughout the schools. And then we partner with the Morton Courier to drop all those to the Morton residents. So festival's coming. We are 24 days countdown, I think. So we're looking forward to it. Had a good chamber board meeting today. So just want to publicly thank all those that get behind festival and look forward to hosting our 53rd annual Pumpkin Festival.
Thank you. Thank you, Leanne.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Potts. I'm the store manager of the local Walmart here in town. And I am just here simply to request permission to be able to use temporary storage during the holiday season. As most of you know, we use that for overflow of toys for our big event for Black Friday. It's temporary. Only plan on having it most of the trailers probably a month and a half before we start getting them off.
All right. I told Jeff we'd have Roger look into temporary a time frame possible. Right now you can't have trailers outside storage. So Roger was going to see if it'd come up with some kind of a timetable, how many, and present it to the board. And then, so if any of you have any input you'd like to, I'd talk to Roger and see if we can come up with something.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Consent agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes, the regular meeting of August 5th, 2019, approval of the bills, and approval of the resolution 1820 IDOT resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Blunier.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Menold.
Yes.
Parrott.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under the president, we have the resolution regarding a mural at 111 West Washington Street, and the Honorable Roger Spangler is going to explain it. When you know more about it than I do, Raj.
Yeah, we do, with Pat's help, we put together the agreement for the So Chic property, if you know where that is, right behind Heartland Bank, kind of fronts Washington Street. And it would be the south end of their building. She's got a rendering kind of put together. It's nothing that you would find offensive in any way. And the way I think she had attempted to get someone to sponsor, but it wasn't working out that great, and Jeff said that we could do it, the board would sponsor that, and so Pat put together all the paperwork, and we'll just be taking it through the process. They'll have to get a permit for it, and, well, the Village of Morton would actually be getting the permit, but they'll kind of instigate all this, and I think we've got most of the details worked out. Pat, if you've got anything to add, you can.
I think this is the first mural that we've had come back to the board. Our ordinance permits murals as public art only, and so it has to be a taxing body, a public organization that applies for the permit, proceeds with the mural. We have a proposed agreement with the owners of the property that would cover all the legal requirements and make this an eligible project for a mural permit, maintenance, obtaining the intellectual property rights to put up the design. Actually putting it up would not be at any expense to the village, so the village's role in this primarily is as the permittee and the proponent of the public art project.
And I had forwarded to her an email that contained the things that she would have to provide to us, you know, the like method of attaching it to the wall, if there were going to be lights, how they would be put on the wall and that sort of thing. So she's kind of going about getting her ducks in a row right now. So whenever we get that, I think she's anxious to get it up and get it here probably for Pumpkin Festival. So
When I talked to Roger, it's one of those murals, I guess people travel and take pictures of these.
yeah, they take pictures in front of it.
Yeah, and so it's right across from the old grain elevator, so it's a perfect location. Complements her business, and what she had going on a couple Friday nights ago was amazing downtown. So I also asked Roger, instead of asking taxing bodies, others to get involved, somebody you know, why don't we do one-stop shopping? When they come to us, let's see if we can be the sponsor and answer their questions and tell them what they need and get it done, either rejected or help them get it done. So instead of sending them somewhere else. So Roger's been organizing this one, and it looks like it's going to be a very
With
good
a lot
one.
of help from Pat.
So thank you, Pat. So in that, can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Any other comments?
Yes, Your Honor, I was wondering, I could have maybe overlooked it, but who approves what the mural's gonna look like? I mean, do they come to us?
That's a part of, so we have, what's before you tonight is the agreement with her as a part of the permitting phase. By making these public art, we have content control, which we wouldn't have if it was not public art. And so as a part of obtaining the permit, the design actually has to be provided and approved by the village. So separate ordinance covers that.
So
That
is-
was a real process to get to that point. I mean, it took months. But
I seen a picture of it, it was really sharp, but maybe in the future we have those
yeah,
in the packet. This is our first try at it, so.
So the part you're talking about, Pat, is the codified portion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Leach.
Yes.
Lehman. Yes. Mennel.
yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Village clerk.
Just one quick item tonight, Your Honor. Just a reminder, due to the holiday, the next board meeting will be Tuesday, September 3rd, the day after Labor Day.
All right,
That's all I have tonight.
thank you. Chief of Police.
Yes, Your Honor. In your packet, you have quotes for 2020 police pursuit vehicles. There are 3 on there noted. One from Morrill Brothers, which is a SUV Interceptor at $33,770. There are 2 others from Miles Chevrolet. One is a 2-wheel drive Tahoe at $33,900, and then the other four-wheel drive Tahoe at $37,700. We started utilizing the Ford Interceptor back in 2014 originally, got an administration car, and then got a police patrol vehicle the following year in 2015. The mechanic had, Ryan Noss had a few family matters to go today, but for him there has been very limited mechanical issues surrounding these. And we have 4 in our budget for this year, fiscal year 20, and we would seek approval for the purchase of 2 of the Ford Interceptors at this time.
All right, could I have a motion?
Also move. Second?
Any comments?
Question, I guess we had had the opportunity to talk with the chief on it earlier. The first time around, it looked like we had the Ford Interceptor was on there, and there wasn't any other bids on there. And so I'm glad that there's now the Tahoe, so I appreciate that. It sounds learning more about the process. I guess has been the choice at some point in the past where they go only through the state bidding process and looking for what state bids are available. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It's already a vetted process, which keeps us from having to go through and doing that and putting things out for various bids. So the state has taken care of that legwork for us. So that's. I've been on since 1986, and that's the sort of the mode of operation that our agency's been doing since then.
And then it sounds like, and there's been times in the past, looks like one time in 16 with Bob Grimm Chevrolet on a Chevy Impala, and it didn't look like Ford, we had ever gotten one through Ford, but it sounded like they were given the opportunity then, in 16, the state bid was brought to them and said, hey, would you be able to compete with this?
Yes, sir. What we've done in the past is any of the manufacturers, whether it be Ford or Chevy, that have been awarded the state bid, once we find out what that bid is, we've gone to a local dealer and informed them of what the state bid is and given them the opportunity to work out to see if they can match it or how close they've come. Typically, the board has paid more than what the state bid was. If it's within a few $100s, they've worked with the local dealership allowing that, which is the case in the 2016 example that you mentioned.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. I'm thankful that it sounds like we had the opportunity in the past, and I guess at this point, but I guess I've been told that, I guess at this point the only other Chevrolet vehicle that was available at the time was the Tahoe, which came back quite significantly more than it was.
It's a little bit more, and quite frankly, it's a good vehicle. It's got a truck chassis compared, which is a little bit better, but it's not one that I think for $4,000 is prudent for us to get. I believe that the Ford SUV will suffice for the needs that we have. And obviously we've seen over the last several years a downsizing of some of the sedans, and hence what I'm talking about is the passenger area of the vehicles, and we've seen more and more equipment for the police that they use filling up that space. The SUV gives us the ability to handle the inclement weather that we face here, as well as gives more room in the officer for their equipment, and it's for them in the long run.
And I guess one thing, neither of us knew the answer to it when we had talked, but we were trying to figure out what is the process for vehicles getting on. How can a dealership get onto the state bidding process? And why I mentioned that would probably be important is because GMC makes the GMC Terrain. There's Terrain police vehicles out there. There's Dodge makes the Dodge Durango. That's a police vehicle. But at this time, there wasn't any state bids for either of those.
I can help with that question. When
Okay.
it comes to cooperative contracts, state contracts, the manufacturer makes the attempt to be on the contract. on a specific vehicle spec'd out a certain way for an application, such as you'd find Caterpillar, Komatsu, and Case on a cooperative contract, you'd find GM, Ford, and Chrysler on a contract. If the manufacturer doesn't have a competing vehicle or doesn't step up or doesn't want to compete on that, it does affect the local dealerships. So that's why Grimm's couldn't compete this time. They're simply not on the contract. So
And that's where I guess, and that's right, and I think it's good for everyone's knowledge. I mean, that's where I would like to learn as well. Is I understand, I guess, that GM, whether or not they didn't have a vehicle, GMC didn't have the Terrain, wasn't on the, but they have a police vehicle that's available, or Dodge, is obviously Sam Lehman with Dodge Durango. If they have police vehicles available, shouldn't they also be allowed the opportunity, to, as long as the vehicle's up to specs, also be allowed the opportunity to place a bid?
then in this particular case, the city would have to go through the vet the bidding process, which is expensive and time consuming. So then they would have to have everybody submit a bid so it's consistent. They wouldn't be able to use the bids off the contract and then some local bids as well. So it gets a little bit messy, but your point's well taken. It'd be nice if we had GMC and Chevy step up and compete, and even Dodge for the
Yeah.
Durango. That would help drive costs down and perhaps give a better selection of vehicles. I agree with you, but it either has to be one or the other. They can't mix the two, unfortunately.
Jeff, you've been around, Your Honor, you've been around the board for many years. That's everything that you've always remembered too, is through the state bidding process, correct?
Correct. We actually, years ago, we tried to give the local dealerships a bump and have bids, which we found was illegal, because once you bid it, it's bid, and it is a lot of work. And then the state started coming out with this, and we were moving to SUVs, and so this is the cheapest, easiest way for us to get it without going through a bid process. But the trustee's correct. The Chevy, GM, they need to get on the state bidding list. Manufacturers, they need to do their homework and put some vehicle on the state bids, because these Fords have been very good, and hopefully we can keep them longer.
Mm-hmm.
I did see an article perhaps a year or two ago where GM said that they were going to reduce the number of lease vehicles and the number of contract vehicles for this type of a purpose. It had something to do with flooding the market with resale vehicles, which drove down the retail price of their newer vehicles. You'd understand better than I would about that. Maybe they're still behind that. And I lease a lot of vehicles at work, and I see a lot of Chryslers, a lot of Toyotas, Hondas, things like that, but not too many Chevys are available unless it's the Suburban or the Tahoe, which there's only the Ford and the Chevy for that in GMC. So I don't know. I wish it would change, but that's what we're up against.
Sounds like supply and demand also happened, because in 2018, the last purchase was at $28,490, and so the current bid is at $33,770. So it's tough to know exactly what the MSRP was, but I mean there's probably some supply and demand that happened within there too.
I agree.
So that's it, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Corporation Council.
A couple things tonight, Your Honor. The first thing I have is ordinance number 20-13, which is an ordinance amending section 3-8-6 of the Morton Municipal Code regarding the number of available Class E liquor licenses. May I ask for a motion on that, please?
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'd ask council to explain that.
Sure, and both my items actually are part and parcel of the same project. This is the implementation of the matter we've been working on for some time. It's the expansion of Unum's facility off of Jefferson. There is a grassy area which adjoins it to the northeast. And item B on my list of 2 items tonight would be to authorize the sale of that parcel to the owner of Jefferson Place. The intended plan is for a outdoor area for food service and consumption service of alcohol at retail for consumption on the premises to occur in that grassy area. So they've indicated their customers are seeking that, and that property facilitates that. So by making a Class C license available, we would enable Unum to apply for and receive the necessary liquor license to sell and serve alcohol in that outdoor seating area.
All right. So what has been going on as far as that property? They've met with the village staff, Roger, Craig, and they've been very good, very business friendly. We don't really need that space, so they're getting all the utilities okayed. I don't think we have anything in there. I think ITV3 or somebody had something. So they're gonna be able to build a structure on that side back far enough so no car that parks there will hit it. And they'll landscape it. And it's very complimentary to Morton. It'll give us some outside dining. And it's truly business friendly in Morton. We're making outside dining work at this establishment. We can't do it everywhere, but we made it here. So we vote on the liquor license first.
That's
the
correct.
motion.
Yep.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Mennel.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next item I have is Resolution 20-20, which would be a resolution authorizing sale of a part of parcel 060620213081 to Jefferson Place Morton LLC.
Can we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? I will say, I think Roger would agree, they've been great to work with. And it's been a long process. It's probably been going on 8 months at least.
Yeah, maybe 9.
Yeah, to put this together. And I asked the owner too if she thought a couple flower pots would look nice out front. And she obliged the city, so we got some more flowers. Soften our walk past, so they've been good. So if we could call the roll, please.
Parrot.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Director of Fire and Emergency Services.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
And Director of Public Works, I think. Trustee, you're going to take care of that?
Yeah, in the absence of Craig tonight, Mr. Laudermilk tonight, I'd like to recommend that we approve the ordinance making amendments to the cluster box units.
Could we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
You want to add anything? And
Everyone might recall that we tabled this for a little while to make sure that we had the best quality units out there for the benefit of the appearance for the city and for the homeowners that need to take care of the boxes. And we had hoped we could get stainless, but it doesn't exist. But we have the next best thing, which is all aluminum with the powder coat finish and all stainless steel hardware. So it's the best that we could get. It will be in black. And I think the stainless shiny hardware probably is the way they'll look. We had a rendering of them. And I think they're going to look nice and they'll last for as long as all of us will be around.
any other comments? Call the roll.
Parrot.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Planning and Zoning Officer.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Village Trustees. Trustee Blunier, did you have anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, Trustee Leach, you're up.
Okay, I have Resolution 1720, which is I made a change to our building improvement grant for the Business District Commission. And just to point that out, on 1720, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 1720.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
And I assume all the rest of you got the building improvement grant. The changes were on page 2. You'll see where it's in blue. Word projects is scratched out. Page 6, you'll see the word project is scratched out where it's in blue. And then page 7, and I think page 7 does a better job of explaining basically the change. It says if grant funds are requested for work which is a portion of a larger project, the project may permissibly commence prior to receipt of the notice of approval from the village, but the portion of the project for which the grant funds are required may not have started or commenced prior to the receipt of the notice of approval from the village. So if they have a bigger project, they can start it and they can come for the things of this grant later. So that's what the changes are you see in Resolution 1720.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Call the roll.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and then there were 3 grant requests at the last Business District Commission. I don't know if you got those, the information in your packet, but the first application was from Noah and Christy Seaman. And as you look at the item, it's at 108 South Maple, which would be just east of the post office. And the things that they're going to do is they're going to add a ramp for easy access to the back door. They're adding 2 additional sidewalks to the salon. It's my understanding the sidewalks would be at street side. The village has no desire to put in sidewalks there, so they're putting in the sidewalks that would be in front of the property. They're going to replace cracked sidewalk at the entrance area, and they're going to replace 2 exterior doors, and then they're going to add railing at the front step. And the total cost was going to be $5362.64, and the amount approved by the BDC is $2681.32. So I move approval of the grant for 108 South Maple.
You want to do all 3 together?
Do you want me to do
Yeah,
that?
why don't we just
Okay.
do, why don't you explain
All
them?
Okay, so then the next one is Morton Township building. This one's a little bit different in that we tore out, if I understand right, we replaced or changed the location of the gas meter. So some of the landscape had been removed, I think, because of what we were doing, and other just because it was getting old. And so they've come and asked to have a grant. They've said total project is going to be $5,500, so the approved amount by the BDC is $2,750. And then the last one is Eli's at make sure I get the right spot, 205 West Jefferson. And Rachel is going to remove existing landscape plantings along the front. She's going to remove the juniper tree to make room for additional seating and an enhanced view of downtown Morton, she said. She's going to add new hardy plantings that will be easier to maintain, and also rock. One of the things she said that mulch would be changed, some of it would be changed to rock. One, because of having to salt the sidewalk in the wintertime to make sure that it's clean. And so plantings and mulch will probably be changed a little bit in that area, which I thought was very smart to do. And then she's going to add new brick edging and retaining wall to help with erosion and snow and ice removal during the winter. And her total project was going to be $7,850, of which the BDC approved $39.25. So I move for approval of all 3 grants by the Business District Commission.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Call the roll.
Leach.
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Motion passes.
There is no need for closed sessions tonight, so if I can have a motion for adjournment.
I so move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.